This video is about multiplying polynomials and using polynomials to determine perimeter and area of rectangles and squares. So first we're going to start by multiplying with the distributive property. Now, when we multiply, we're going to add the exponents together and we're going to multiply the coefficients, which are the numbers next to the variables, together. So in number one, I'm going to distribute 2x squared to all three terms. So 2x squared times 4x cubed, 2 times 4 gets us 8x, and then we're going to add our exponents. So 2 plus 3 gets us 8x to the fifth. Then we have 2x squared times negative 5x, which gets us negative 10x. Remember, if there's no exponent, that's a 1. So 2 plus 1 gets us x cubed. And then the last one I'm just going to multiply with the 10. So I get plus 20x squared. The exponent doesn't change this time because 10 does not have a variable with it. Number two, when I distribute 4x to all four terms, 4x times negative 6x to the fourth gets us negative 24x. I'm going to add my exponents. 1 plus 4 gets us x to the fifth. Next one, 4x times 3x squared. 4 times 3 is 12. And x times x squared, we add those exponents together to get x cubed. Then I have 4x times negative 10x. 4 times negative 10 is negative 40. And x times x gets us x squared. And then 4x times 2 gets us 8x. So now we're going to multiply polynomials. So we're still using distributive property, but now we're doing it twice. So the first part of distributive property is we are going to multiply the x. So x times x and x times 7. Well, x times x, they both have an exponent of 1. That gets us x squared. X times 7 gets us 7x. Then we're going to do distributive property again with the other term, which is 3. So we're going to do 3 times x and 3 times 7. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 7 is 21. Notice that I have two x terms. I have a 7x and a 3x, so I'm going to combine like terms. So I get x squared plus 10x plus 21. Number 4, first I'm going to distribute the x to both terms. So x times x is x squared. X times 4 is 4x. And then I'm going to do the negative 9. So negative 9 times x is negative 9x. Negative 9 times 4 is negative 36. I have two x terms here that can combine, so I get x squared minus 5x minus 36. Number 5, the first term to distribute from the first set of parentheses is 2x. So 2x times 4x gets us 8x squared. 2x times negative 2 gets us negative 4x. Then I'm going to distribute the negative 7. So negative 7 times 4x is negative 28x. Negative 7 times negative 2 is 14. Notice again that I have two x terms in the middle, negative 4x and negative 28x. So when I combine those together, 8x squared minus 32x plus 14. Remember, when you're combining your x terms together, that the exponent doesn't change because you're adding or subtracting them and just combining like terms. Number 6, so I go ahead and distribute, I have negative 3x times negative x, which gets me negative 3x, positive 3x squared. Negative 3x times 3 gets us negative 9x. Negative 4 times negative x gets me plus 4x. And negative 4 times 3 gets me negative 12. Then I have two x terms that combine together, so I get 3x squared minus 5x minus 12. Number 7, when I distribute negative 2x, I do negative 2x times 3x, which gets me negative 6x squared. Negative 2x times negative 5 gets us plus 10x. 7 times 3x gets me 21x. And 7 times negative 5 gets me negative 35. I combine those x terms together, so negative 6x squared plus 31x minus 35. Number 8, I'm distributing negative x to both terms first. So negative x times 2x is negative 2x squared. Negative x times negative 3 gets me 2x. 6 times 2x gets me 12x. And 6 times negative 3 gets me negative 18. So I'm going to combine my x's together. 2x squared, negative 2x squared plus 15x minus 18. Now, in 9 and 10, we have a binomial and a trinomial. We're still doing the same thing. We're going to take the 2x and distribute first to the 3 terms. So 2x times x squared gets us 2x cubed. 2x squared times negative 4x gets us negative 8x squared. And 2x times 9 gets us 18x. Then I'm going to go back and distribute the negative 2 to all 3 terms. So negative 2 times 2x squared, or times x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times negative 4x is 8x. And negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. Now we just have to be careful that there's more things to combine. So 2x cubed is the only term, so that stays the same. We have 2x squared, so we have negative 8x squared minus 2x squared, which gives us negative 10x squared. We have 18x and 8x, which combine to become 26x. And then we have the negative 18. So the more terms that there are in each set of parentheses, the more combining like terms that we might have to do later on at the end. So let's do one more. Number 10, we're going to distribute 3x to all 3 terms first. So 3x times 2x squared gets us 6x cubed. 3x times 7x gets us 21x squared. 3x minus 4 gets us negative 12x. Then we're going to distribute again with the 5. So 5 times 2x squared is 10x squared. 5 times 7x is 35x. And 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. So when I combine like terms, there's no other x cubed. So I just have 6x cubed. There are 2 squareds. There's 21x squared and 10x squared, which combine to become 31x squared. There's also a negative 12x plus a 35x, which gets us plus 23x. And negative 20 has nothing to combine with. Now, when we do applications, we can use this idea to find perimeter and area. So perimeter is just like yesterday. We are adding all sides. And when we're finding area, we are multiplying the base times the height. So remember that area is equal to B times H. So in number 10, we need to find the perimeter and the area of the rectangle. So first, to find the perimeter, I have to know that the opposite sides in the rectangle are the same. So the bottom side is also 2x, and the other side is also x minus 7. So for perimeter, we're going to add up all of the sides. So x minus 7 plus x plus 2 plus x minus 7 plus x plus 2. And then I'm going to combine like terms. So I have an x, an x, an x, and an x, which gives me 4x. I have negative 7 plus 2 minus 7 plus 2. When I add those up, that gets me negative 10. So my perimeter is 4x minus 10. Now, when I go to find area, I'm just doing base times height. So for area, I'm just using the 2 sides that were typed on the page. And I'm going to multiply them together. So x minus 7 times x plus 2. I need to distribute. So x times x is x squared. X times 2x is 2x. Negative 7 times x is negative 7x. And negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. Now I can combine those x terms in the middle together, and I get x squared minus 5x minus 14, which is my area. So remember, for perimeter, you have to use all 4 sides, but for area, you only use the 2 different side lengths and multiply them together.